Hi everybody, it's PJ, and I wanted to go through, I already filmed this once, unfortunately. The video was fine, but there was no voice, so I'm doing it again because I don't have a microphone to do voiceovers. Great. Anyway, my point is that I had this strangest, you know how like you're supposed to look for signs? Never in my life has a sign been clearer. So, it's still Mercury retrograde. So I haven't really been thinking about doing many spells, doing spell work, because I tend to not do spell work under Mercury retrograde unless it's a return type spell, okay? Because I don't want that to be, tainted by Mercury trying to undo what I do. So the funny part about this is, so the storm is just unbelievable, blowing winds and powerful, And all day long, this is what I did. I sat and I put it in the vlog that I did before this one. And I painted this picture, okay? And I don't know why, like, this came to mind, this particular scene in my head was what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a nighttime scene with the moon. That's all I knew. I looked through a bunch of like different things on Google images, looking for ideas. And then I took those ideas and my own thing in my head, and this is what I came up with. Okay, so this is what I did all day. Right, all day. I made this picture of a full moon at night with a beautiful tree full of snow and snow-packed ground and snowing and wind blowing. And that was my rendition of today's events. So my sister texts me, right? And she's like, hey, it's a Leo full moon tonight. What are you doing? My sister is hugely spiritual, witchcraft. She's a much better artist than me by far. She has had gallery openings. She's also a theatrical makeup artist, and she does movies for M. Night Shyamalan and a bunch of other really kind of biggish movies, okay? And she's like a really amazing person with an amazing life. Like her life is like so much more interesting than mine. But anyway, I'm not jealous. I'm proud of her. I'm so proud to be her sister. So when she texts me and says like, well, what are you doing tonight? What, cause I tend to do more spell work than her. I was like, oh, well, no, I hadn't planned on, I didn't even realize that it was a Leo full moon. I knew it was a full moon, but I actually thought it was in Cancer and said to her, I think the moon's in Cancer. And then I looked it up because now my curiosity was piqued. So I went back and looked it up, and no, once I did the calculations, because I had the time on Universal Time, and I had to switch it to Eastern Time, because astrology is like all math, which I suck at. So once I figured it out, I was like, oh shit, no, she's right. So I texted her back and said, no, you're right, I'm sorry, because I had told her she was wrong. It's a Leo moon. So I said, I don't know, I wasn't planning on doing anything because of Mercury retrograde. And then I was like, oh my God, like my mind reverted back to this picture. And I was like, never is it clearer that I'm supposed to do something with this moon. Like, I friggin' paid homage to it all day. I painted it. I literally was reverent about this, this is the image I wanted to paint. This is to me, this is a sign. I was like, oh my God, Pam. I sent her a picture of the painting, and I said, I did this all day. Isn't that crazy? Without even knowing it, I knew I was going to do something with the moon. And she was like, that's a sign. And I was like, yeah, right. So this is my sign that, that I was supposed to do a spell. So I started thinking, well, what would be, what is a good, trying to keep this in the, Can't see it. So I was trying to think, what's a good spell to do? It is a huge storm outside, like a blizzard. And and it's this moon that obviously, for whatever reason, I'm supposed to deal with. And it's Leo. And Leo is about the sun, and like it rules your heart and your chest. It rules like your willpower. It rules being singular, like it rules things that are related to you and you alone. It's very domineering and fiery, and it, like I said, like all I kept thinking of was willpower. And I've done a lot of things this beginning of this year that has to do with willpower. And one of them is changing my diet to being vegetarian, which I've done successfully. But on the other hand, I've been eating a lot of carbs, where before I would eat a lot of protein. I was doing a lot of things different. I thought about it. I was like, the one thing that I really need right now is willpower. So that's what I did. So unfortunately, because it is Mercury retrograde, I came in here, filmed an entire thing on my spell, and you can't hear my voice. Because it's Mercury retrograde. But this spell still went through. So I just wanted to go back through and tell you what I did. I used quite a bit of oil. This is like psychic oil here that I got from the Sabbath box. So I used this. I used also from Sabbath box, I used this incense. It's like a raw incense. It smells so good. And I used the little cone incenses, and I crushed this all together using some black sand. I put it in my small cauldron, and I took it outside. I have videotape of what I did outside because I used the power of the storm as well. And my sacrifice, or my gift to the storm, was that incense. So I did a big, huge bowl of incense, and I lit it up, and I took it outside, and I said, for the power of air, the power of the storm, I want that much power in my will. My will be done. I ask that the storm take this beautiful gift. And the storm was surging and swirling, and the incense was swirling. And I like did an entire, I don't even remember what I said. I did an entire talk to the storm. I talked to the storm about the power that I was feeling from that storm, about how powerful that storm was. And it is, it's still going on. But I mean, while I was out there, it was bashing me around. And so I left the incense out on my porch as a gift, like, here, just take this into this storm. Let me feel the power of the storm. Every time I heard or hear the wind surge, I want to feel that power of the storm in me, because I have as much power as the storm in me to do whatever it is I want. And I meditated ahead, and of course, I meditate 2-3 times a day anyway, but once I get an intention, I will meditate towards that intention. So I was in my bedroom, and I laid down, and I got still, and I got down into my breath, and if you meditate, you know what that means. And then I just felt the power behind this storm. And that's what I used. I used this picture 100% as like my muse for this spell. It's crazy how signs come to you and you don't even know they're there. And I definitely believe that the world conspired to have my sister text me, because I would have fallen asleep and never done anything. And that would have been a shame, because I was meant to do this spell. So I did the spell on the willpower outside and used the wind and the raging storm. And then I came back in here and lit 2 candles. I lit 2 candles, one of which is red. And it's also like for fire. and it simply represents fire and Leo and me. That's like me. And the other's purple. And if you don't know, like purple is like the powerful kind of color. And I douse them in 2 different kinds of oils. One to increase my psych work, because also like I love doing readings for you guys. Like those free readings really empower me. And I felt great about that. And so that was very powerful. And then the other side to it was I wanted personal power. So I got up, and regardless of where in my life, I wanted that willpower to do what I say and to finish the job and to finish the task. And that's what I did. And that's what I asked for. And I'm going to post it here, even though you really can't hear me. That's it. That's what I did. I mean, it wasn't a big spell in the way of lots of words and this and that. My spell was my intention. I want to gain my willpower. And the biggest thing right now going on is this storm, this raging storm. So why not give a gift to the power of this storm and use it for my benefit? Hell, I painted it all day without even knowing it. I love signs. All right, guys, if you'd like to follow me down the rabbit hole that is my life, hit the button down below and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like this kind of video, a thumbs down if you don't. Either way, God, you're watching me. Manifest something really good in your life. If you know it, think it, believe it, you can absolutely have what you want. Manifest it. Give nice gifts to the earth. Right now, this storm, it is taking my gift of incense. And for that, I will receive. All right, guys, have a good night.